Hello, friends of the internet. Welcome to General Nerdcast, episode 68. Is that what we're doing?
68,
Yeah,
yes.
68.
One away.
8.
We are doing Fun Fact Friday with our super special, awesome, great guest, TLR.
I don't know where my hands go. I lost it.
Here. It's much easier if I don't have the video in the background, because I'm like, which way am I supposed to go? But I know he's in the middle of us, so there. Today we're going to talk to you about some generally nerdy things. Today we're going to talk about, last week we did our favorite shows, narrative
shows,
stories, things like that. Today we're going to do movies, because we want you guys to get to know us a little better so you know where we're coming from.
Yeah.
I meant to say that last week and I forgot. That's why we're doing these weird kind of like our favorite stuff things instead of like the actual fun facts. We're kind of just introducing ourselves.
Yeah. Some background.
Yeah.
Yeah, about who we are and whatnots and what have yous.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first, baby?
I think after singing like that, you have to go first.
Yeah, I think you elected.
Damn it. So,
I
I shall
am-
go first.
I guess I will go first. I guess mine is more of a saga, not really just one, but
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go with the Star Wars.
Cheater.
Oh, I'll pick my favorite one out of it, but that's like my favorite story narrative thing. Again, I think it's more of a nostalgia thing for me than an actual like real reason.
Yeah.
But I do love Star Wars. It is my favorite set of
Yeah.
movies, I guess. I don't know. I don't really have. I mean, if you haven't seen Star Wars, then I don't want to talk to you. So I don't really have much else to say about that. Go, Tyler.
What
No,
would
just
be
kidding.
your favorite one?
My favorite... okay, yeah, that's what I was going to say. My favorite one, by unpopular opinion, is Return of the Jedi. Most people pick The Empire Strikes Back, and I understand why. The Empire Strikes Back is great, but I love Return of the Jedi because there's still the weird kind of like background fact that Luke can still be a Sith.
Yeah.
And then like the whole plot line in the whole Return of the Jedi is, I mean, obviously he's not going to be because it's the Return of the
Spoilers.
Jedi. If you haven't seen it, fuck off. But he,
But go
he
watch
like,
it.
yeah, obviously. But the whole premise is that he wears the black suit the whole time because he's still conflicted
yeah.
on the inside. And it's kind of like a metaphor for him being like, I don't know whose side that I'm on because my dad is the Sith, but they're bad people and they're the Empire and destroying the galaxy and all this other stuff. So he's kind of like conflicted inside.
Yeah.
So he wears the black. And then he has the fight with Darth Vader where the Emperor is kind of telling him that, you know, like pushing him to do the bad things to become a Sith. Like,
Yeah.
he wants him to kill Darth Vader and take his spot. And then, like, my favorite line in all of the movies is when he drops his lightsaber and he says, "You've failed, Your Highness. I'm a Jedi like my father before me." And I'm like, fucking badass. And, like, after that happens, like, his jacket, like, opens up and it's, like, white on the inside. So it's like, he was conflicted until that point, and then it opened up and he was like, no, I'm not doing it. So it's like a weird like metaphor thing going on that not a lot of people notice or know that's going on in the background.
Yeah, I could
But-
say I didn't really catch it. Granted, I haven't watched it in a while, so I can't remember.
When you watch it now, it becomes more obvious.
Yeah.
It's like the whole
Let's watch
movie-
it when I come to Reno next.
Okay,
Huh?
okay.
Marathon.
Ugh. That's like 18 hours.
I don't know if I have that much time.
Yeah. But the whole movie, even when he goes to save Han and Leia from Jabba's palace, he's still wearing black. So it's like, I don't know, it's a weird like background thing that he's like conflicted on the inside, so he's not like, but yeah.
Huh.
Return of the Jedi is my favorite one. Most people, like I said, pick Empire Strikes Back.
Okay. That's a good choice. I like that. Yeah, any more you want to touch on it, or...
No, I mean, I just love it that, like, sci-fi, space battles, then there's, like, the planets, and then, like, the Battle of Hoth is probably the greatest battle scene in Star Wars, which is why people pick The Empire Strikes Back. But, I don't know. I just love the Return of the Jedi more. I don't know. But, yeah, the battle scenes are great. The prequels are not super great.
Yeah.
But I did. This is super unpopular opinion. I did not like Rogue One at all.
See, I still haven't watched it. Like I've seen it like pop up on Netflix and whatnot. I'm like, I could watch it. And
I liked Rogue One for the fact that it bridged the gap between 3 and 4,
Okay.
but I hated it because it was a terrible Star Wars movie. When Darth Vader's making stupid puns, like I went into it, and to that point, I was kind of like, oh, this is all right. I mean, I guess I get it. And then that happened, and I was like, fuck this movie. Fuck everything this movie stands for. This movie is fucking garbage.
Wait, what happened? I missed that.
Darth Vader makes a stupid pun to one of his lackeys.
Oh.
He like totally makes like a dad joke. And I'm like, no Sith has ever had a sense of humor where they need to make a fucking stupid dad joke. Fuck this. You've ruined his persona as a badass by him making this stupid joke. Oh man.
That's some of that Disney creep.
Dude, I get
people in the row in front of you, like, fuck this.
Yeah, dude, I get like blood red mad when I think about it. Like, it totally ruins everything that Darth Vader is, has been, or ever will be by him being like,
well,
God, I can't remember what it was, but fuck it. I hate it so much.
I know something I need to find just for like ringtone-ish noise.
Dude, I will flip fucking tables every time you get a text message. We'll be doing the show and you forget to turn your ringer off, and like I'm just flipping the fucking table. I'm like, are you joking right now? Because I cannot like.
Darth Vader.
It's more of like a personal thing for me, I guess, because like I say that to people and they're like, well, I don't understand why it's such a big deal, and I'm like, because the Sith Empire doesn't do that. They've never done that. They've always been super badass fucking dark Jedis. Like, that's what they are. They don't have a sense of humor. Their whole thing is they want more power. They crave power. They need power. They want the power to overtake their master to become the master and get their own apprentice. They don't give a shit about jokes. The more I talk about it, the more mad I'm getting, and I'm getting, dude. Like, my hand hurts. I was just clenching it so hard. Like, I don't
know what the dark side is really
Jesus.
about.
I don't know if I can redraw you with the frowny face right now.
I can't even, like, I'm so mad that I'm smiling about it. Like, that's where I'm at, dude. I'm fucking,
There you go.
Angry frowny face.
No, what the dark side is really about is they all really just want to make sure that
I will
everybody
fucking kill
can
you.
make
Don't.
jokes throughout all of history. They want it to be okay on every planet. Dad jokes in every language.
That's all the Empire stands for. Like, secretly, they're like, let's say we're gonna take over the galaxy, but really all we want is so everybody's comfortable making dad jokes. I hate you so much right now. I don't want to talk anymore because I'm angry. Like, I'm so mad I can't stop smiling and it hurts my face. That's where I'm at right now.
That's fair. This is good. Man,
I fucking hate that movie now.
Alright, so Bob loves Star Wars but hates Darth Vader puns.
And then
hates Rogue One for Darth Vader puns.
Yeah, and then people are like, it's so great, and I'm like, oh, fucking break your neck.
I'll have to watch it to see how bad it is. Like, just that part.
Oh, my face hurts.
Is it like continuously throughout Rogue One?
No, he does it one time.
He does it one time.
Yeah, and that was enough for me to be like, nope.
So, Bob, this is going to make you a little bit more angry, but I YouTubed Rogue One Darth Vader joke, and the first video says Rogue One Vader's pun, why it works. The second one is Darth Vader's humor explained. So, it seems there's some people.
You can't do that from. If it was before or after this whole scenario goes down, then okay, great. But it happens after he's full fucking Sith Lord, dark side. He can't make a fucking dad joke pun when he's supposed to be this fucking dark, super fucking shit. Like
I can't wait to watch it when we're done.
Like, dude, I'm smiling again. Like, okay, if he were to make it At any other fucking point of any of these movies, I would get it, and it would fucking work, whatever. But you're talking in a point where he's taking over the galaxy, and he has the Death Star, and it bridges the gap between where he becomes Darth Vader to where he's ruling the galaxy. He can't make a fucking joke in the middle of still, like, not fully transitioning fucking Sith Lord. I can't even talk anymore.
Anger! I'm just thinking of, like, horrible points where he could have made dad jokes now, like, when Padme's on her deathbed, he makes a dad joke there. Or
That would have been better.
or when he's fighting Luke and he cuts off his hand, makes a dad joke there. I have to hand it to you.
That would have been worse, I think.
Now I just really want to watch it just because of that. And to just see it go off a little bit more.
I'm gonna wait till we're done.
Yeah.
Dude. When that happened, I got up and walked out of the room. Like, we were watching it at Sarah's mom's house, and I was like, nope. And I fucking got up and walked out, and like, had to give myself a breather, and I came back, and I was like, all right, finish watching the movie.
All right. I think we
I
can
feel like
leave that.
I feel like I need to walk out again to take a breather.
we can leave that there. Taylor, you want to hit it next?
Yeah. So I have a couple.
Oh no!
Oh, we're
So
connection issues.
Figures.
Yeah. There we go. All right.
Beep.
I think we're good.
Okay. I don't know what got cut off, but I said, kind of like I've been doing, there's a couple that I want to talk about. The first one, I have three. So kind of the first one, and these were all a tie, I would say, is the Divergent series. I'm kidding.
Oh, really? I was like, dude, I was about to be like, wait, what, dude?
No, I was trying to think of something that would top me talking about Call of Duty having a good storyline. So I could have done Twilight again.
Yeah.
Okay, but for real,
Call of
the
Duty
first one
still a
is
better love
John
story than
Q.
Twilight.
John Q with Denzel Washington. Have either of you guys seen that movie?
I
No.
don't think so.
It's I don't know why I like this movie so much. Like, I've rewatched it, and there's like really no like high or low points in the movie where I feel like someone who would watch it for the first time would be like, oh shit, that was amazing. But I think it's just the whole premise of the movie that I really like. So basically, Denzel Washington, he's married to this lady, and they have a son. And the son is playing baseball, and I don't know what it actually is. I don't think it's not a stroke, but he has some sort of heart issue and like falls down running between the bases. And so they rush the kid to the hospital.
The other kid just runs up and tags him and goes, "Ha, you're out."
Yeah.
Into the movie.
No, not like that. But so this kid like falls down. They rush him to the hospital, and this kid is essentially in a coma, and they figure out that his heart is too big for his body, so it's taking up too much blood.
Oh.
And he's gonna need to get a heart transplant. And Denzel's like, okay, sweet, let's get the operation going.
Oh wait, I think I've seen previews for this movie. Maybe.
Let's start this process. And to make the very long movie short, basically what ends up happening is his insurance won't cover it because he doesn't make enough money. So he and his wife sell like literally everything that they own to try to pay for their son's surgery. They're at church getting donations from everybody. Like, let's say that their goal, I don't know what the actual number is, but let's say their goal is like $250,000. They earn like $200,000 of it. Like, they're super close to it. And the hospital is basically a bunch of dickbags saying, look, we're not going to keep your son here anymore because you can't pay us for the surgery. You can't pay the full price. You didn't make it all the way. I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do, but we have to transfer him to another hospital. Maybe you can figure things out there. So what he does is he takes matters into his own hands, and he basically gets a gun, goes to the hospital, and is like, I'm going to start fucking killing fools if you guys don't perform the surgery on my son. but he does it in such a passionate way where the entire time you're empathizing with him. And even everybody that he's holding hostage, like, eventually comes around and they're all in support of him. And there's a lot of drama that happens, but he's basically able to get a doctor to perform the surgery on his son. He still gets arrested. But just the whole premise of trying to actually picture how helpless you would feel if you had almost raised enough money to save your kid's life, but not quite enough. And then the way that insurance hospitals are actually structured, where there's really no, it's just all a dollar amount to them. Like, what would you do? You'd fucking take a gun and you'd go, no, listen, I'm going to kill you if you don't save my son's life, or I'm going to start killing other people. And there's a really powerful scene where they're trying to find a transplant for the son, and they're having problems with his blood type, and Denzel's like about to shoot himself in the head to sacrifice himself to trade his heart to his son to save his life. And it's a really, really powerful movie. Like I said, there's really no like big high points or low points. It's, you know, kind of what you would expect. There's, you know, it kind of builds up a little bit, but it's over this whole span of it, it's relatively mellow. But yeah, really, really, really good movie. I don't particularly know why I like that movie so much, but definitely one of my top threes. The second one, which is actually a newer movie.
Wait, hold on. But like, before you continue, you talking about that just makes me want to watch Training Day. They're not related at all. But like, and the whole time you were talking about it, I was like, man, I really want to watch Training Day now. Like,
Denzel's a badass,
dude. Yeah. Denzel
he's
Washington
like one of my
is
favorite
probably, yeah. To say he's probably up there in my top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
He's so fucking good.
He's the man on fire.
That's another good movie.
Spoiler alert: Denzel is the man on fire.
You bet.
In case you hadn't seen the movie, what was that with, like, Dakota Fanning or something?
Yeah, I think so. Where he's like trying to save the little girl or something. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like her security guard or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, the second movie, which I think is kind of strange in the sense that I feel most horror movies kind of all blend together. Like, it's all kind of the same jump scare tactics. And this movie that I'm going to talk about also has some jump scares in it, but again, it's kind of putting yourself in that person's shoes. It's a movie called The Babadook. Have you guys seen that?
Oh yeah,
I haven't.
That was.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a good. It's a good one.
Maybe
so
watch soon.
To preface it, the little kid actor, he did a good job, but he was fucking annoying. Like, he played the character he was supposed to play, but the way that they wrote the character kind of makes him annoying.
I agree.
But essentially, there's this book, and if you read through the book, it brings the Babadook to life, because the book is about the Babadook. And so this mom is trying to read her son a bedtime story, and they find this book about the Babadook in their new house that they move into. And the mom reads it, and then eerie shit starts happening. And, you know, as I'm explaining it, it's going to sound like every other horror movie that you ever watch. So I think it's something that you just really need to experience. But it's kind of a psychological horror movie where, like, you don't know if the kid is being possessed or if the mom is being possessed. And shit starts getting weirder and weirder for the mom and the kid. And it basically ends with kind of the question of, is the mom just batshit crazy, or is the Babadook real? And, like, did he really do all this stuff?
It's good. Like,
so I just thought that it was really interesting and kind of separated itself from other horror movies because, like I said, there were a couple jump scares, but really the fear comes out of thinking about, you know, what if this was actually happening?
Yeah, the way that movie ends, the first time I watched it, like at the end of it, I was like, wait, what the fuck? Why was that so good? And then, like, the more that I kind of thought about the movie, that's when it kind of started to kick in. I was like, wait, was it real, or was it something that they were both just, like, batshit crazy and seeing, or is it like, you're like, wait, what? Whoa.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to spoil too much, but I definitely think it's worth it. Well, not just one watch, but I think it's worth multiple watches. It's kind of like
yeah,
The Shining, which also almost made my list. Like the first time you watch it, you're just gonna be like, oh, well, that was kind of cool. That was kind of a creepy movie. But the more you watch it, the more you start picking up on little subtle things throughout the entire thing, where there's really a lot more depth to the Babadook than just a horror movie.
hmm
The jump scare, slasher, or whatever movie. So
Jason X, greatest horror movie ever made.
is that the one where they go to space?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
where they find his body frozen on Earth. And, yeah, awful fucking movie.
That's very 90s. And the last one, which actually, for anybody watching, we did not pre-plan this at all, and I really hope I'm not about to cut Tyler off, but my number one favorite narrative for a movie is Nightmare Before Christmas.
Didn't cut me off.
Oh, because
Okay,
the shirt
sweet.
that he's wearing, the Pumpkin King.
Yeah, I saw before we started that you were wearing the shirt, and I was like, shit, I hope he's not wearing that because he wants to talk
I
about
didn't
it.
even think about that.
Oh, well, I'm going to talk about it. It's arguably one of Tim Burton's best movies.
I'll give you that.
There's been a lot of times that people have tried to emulate it because it was so successful. But in case you don't know, in case you live underneath a fucking rock, The Nightmare Before Christmas is a claymation movie, not animation, just claymation. They take little clay
Isn't
things
it-
and they move them about, and
Isn't it like claymation?
They take one frame
claymation
and-
stop motion?
yeah, it's stop motion.
Yeah.
But it's about kind of where all the different holidays come from, and it centers around Jack Skellington, who is like the main guy of Halloween Town,
He's the Pumpkin King.
and he basically, yeah, but I was trying to think of like what his actual
Title.
role in the town would be, because there's a mayor, and he's not the mayor, and he's not like the president. He's just like their number one celebrity. He's like the best at
Yeah. pretty
Halloween,
much.
I guess.
He's the king.
He's a king, and he's a pumpkin king. But I remember when I was, so what the movie's actually about. So every year on Halloween, Halloween Town puts on a Halloween celebration, and that's like all that they do. It's just, hey, here's Halloween. Let's throw a big, song and dance thing. All right, it's done. Now we need to prepare for next Halloween.
This is Halloween.
And then the other towns will do the same things, like Easter Town, Thanksgiving Town, which they don't actually show either of those two. But that's the whole premise, is like whatever holiday the town is centered around, they celebrate that holiday, and then every other day goes into preparing for the next holiday. Well, Jack gets tired of doing Halloween over and over and over and over, and he's like thinking about, well, what else, is there to life other than just doing Halloween every year? And none of the other towns know that any of the other towns exist. But one day, Jack, after Halloween, he's just like strolling through the woods because he's super bummed out on Halloween, and comes into this spot in a circle of trees where there's like actual doorways inside of the trees that lead to all the other towns. And he just so happens to stumble into the Christmas one, falls in love with it, wants to take over Christmas for the next year. And I like that it's a kids movie, but it's also really dark. Like a lot of the song lyrics,
Yeah.
it's a musical also, by the way. Just a lot about it is really dark. Some of the characters are really dark in their design. But I think the reason why I like it the most is because when I was a kid, I never owned it. And I remember watching it one day with my friend when I was super young, like maybe 4 or 5-ish, and not knowing what it was called. So I could never like explain to anybody what I wanted to see because a lot of other people hadn't seen it. I was like, it's like about Halloween and Christmas, and they would start naming all these other movies, and I'm like, no, it's none of those. But then one day I stumbled upon it in a video rental place, like back when you had to rent actual VHSs. I saw the cover and I was like, this is it. This is the fucking movie. And I found it and I watched it and I was like, yes, I finally found it. And ever since then, I've watched that movie fucking thousands of times.
Mm-hmm.
There was a stint that I went through when I was living in San Diego where I'd put it on every night and fall asleep to it. And it's such a good movie. It's so interesting.
I will say I didn't watch it as a kid. The first time I watched it was about a year ago. Yeah.
Remember that thing I was saying about flipping tables?
I think it's just one of those movies that my mom was like, "No, you." It's Bobby, Angry Bobby. Just one of those movies. My mom was like, "No, it's too dark. It's too adult for kids or something." So I don't think she let me watch it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I never really considered it until Emily had brought it up. I was like, "Yeah,
I
no,
could-
never
I-
seen that."
I can see that.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell that movie would be able to be released nowadays for kids.
Yeah,
Oh, no way.
No. But yeah, I didn't watch that. But I do agree that is a great movie, and kind of it would be a good way to introduce people into different animation styles. And
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I love stop animation because
Yeah.
the process that it takes to create it is just fucking baffling to me. And like anytime a stop animation movie comes out, I'm like, I'm gonna go fucking see that. Like Kubo and the Two Strings.
that was
I saw that trailer and I was like, what? But just a little side note about Nightmare Before Christmas. Also, probably one of the best levels in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 is probably the best one. I haven't played Kingdom Hearts 3, obviously.
Yeah.
And I don't dabble in the handheld Kingdom Hearts games. I'm
No.
sure they're great, but they're not canon for me.
Mm.
And I know they're canon.
Did you
in
guys
real
ever
life
play
relax,
Nightmare
but
Before Christmas game?
No, I never played a
Uh-uh.
Nightmare Before Christmas game.
It was pretty good, but it was like during an era where games were still like super limited to how big it could be, and so Jack, whenever he would attack, only had like one phrase for his move, but he would say it every time he would attack.
oh god,
And I forget exactly what it's called. It's either like Soul Robber or Grave Robber or whatever. But the entire game, he's just like, Soul Robber, like over and over and over. But it was really cool actually being able to walk around Halloween Town and explore. And they stuck pretty closely to the actual movie, so
yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I think that's why the Kingdom Hearts level was so great. Is because you just walk around Halloween Town, and the way Sora
Yeah.
looks is fucking so badass. And then the Keyblade you get from it is so
Yeah.
fucking cool that I wanted to use it the rest of the game, but you can't because it's not strong enough. And Oogie Boogie's boss fight is fucking great. I fucking love that boss fight, and it's like I think that was the first time I've ever battled a boss that was like genuine RNG the whole time you're fighting him.
Yeah.
So it's kind of you're kind of like, well, what's gonna happen next? But it was like you still knew what he was gonna do, but it was still
Kind
different
of
enough.
depending on
Yeah, like because he like rolls a dice, and then whatever the die lands on is like the attack that he
Yeah.
does. So you know all his attacks, but it's like different all the
Okay.
time. So yeah,
I remember being super pissed off in the Oogie Boogie battle though, because I just felt like the camera for that particular battle was so hard to like
yeah.
actually see.
I'll give you that. It was kind of awkward because like Oogie Boogie's like in the background up on top of this ledge, so you're kind of
Yeah, he's, like,
stuck
always
in this
behind.
weird.
Oh, it's a locked camera type of thing.
Yeah, and
but-
it's like you're stuck.
Well, because the room is circular,
Yeah.
so like you're fighting Heartless like up here, and Oogie Boogie's like back here doing shit, and yeah, it's just
Yeah, like in
I think it's-
the camera's like focused on Oogie,
Yeah.
and then you're like trying to fight Heartless down in the arena that he has, but
Okay.
it's hard because you can't like move the camera around to see everything.
So you have to. Okay,
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I've never played.
I mean, luckily the combat system is quite a bit of button mashing, so like
Yeah, it's
not that bad.
spell.
But I just thought about something, and it's kind of weird to like look back and think about things like this, be able to pinpoint certain events in your life that kind of like make you who you are. But I really think that the reason why I like Nightmare Before Christmas so much is because it got me into liking spooky shit, which inevitably got me into the style of music that I played. And, you know, that all those two things in conjunction, like define who I am today. And it was all because of this creepy kids movie that just snowballed into, you know, kind of broadening my horizons for what I really liked. You know, had I not seen that movie, I could be some fucking like jock playing basketball right now, where I'd look at guys like you and be like, you fucking nerds. Like I never would have got involved into everything that I'm into without seeing, you know, that movie.
Yeah, no. It's very influential in the Taylor's life.
Yeah.
Is what he says to you.
Okay.
No, that's
Yeah.
a good one. That's a good one.
And I know every
I
word
guess
tells
it's
the
better
songs.
than saying Call of Duty's better story than Kingdom Hearts, but
So I've never played any Kingdom
Not
Hearts.
better per se, just more tangible to the general population.
Yeah.
Fuck
Maybe
you, Ross.
before 3 comes out or around when 3 comes out, maybe we can do some throwbacks to the first one.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I have the first one remastered for PS3, but
I will say this though:
I have the remastered.
if they ever
collection.
remake Nightmare Before Christmas, I'm gonna be just as upset as Bob when Darth Vader made a pun, and I'm gonna start throwing shit and punching shit. Be like, no, you fucking leave that alone. It was perfect. Leave it alone.
Well, it's getting like a sequel, sort of.
Yeah, isn't it? Was it a
Really?
not an anime, but a manga?
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck it.
It's gonna be focused. Oh, he left.
Oh no!
Well, I guess Taylor's done.
Taylor's done, yeah. Well, I guess I'll take over. In comparison to your two, I feel like mine isn't that great, but
You should have gone
it's still-
first then.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, you sang your way into it. That's facts.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I sing my way into everything.
I won't say though,
Sing my way in the hearts of millions.
the all-out story is okay, but the way they narrated it was actually really good, and I normally hate when shows do this a lot. Shows, movies, whatever, but the way they did it made it a lot better is Boondock Saints. I love,
Okay.
like, I normally hate the flashback sequence where it keeps jumping back and forth in timelines and whatnot.
Oh, he's back.
That hello again.
I'm okay.
I hate when it just jumps all over the timeline and you have trouble following it because you're like, all right, well, I'm trying to watch this. But the way they kind of like combined the past and future into and laid it out in an investigation way was actually really cool. Like throughout every scene they were investigating, that it showed the investigators and what was actually happening.
Yeah.
And detail and whatnot. I thought it was cool. Obviously, the second one wasn't as good because they tried making it way too comedy and less dark.
I'm trying to think if I ever actually saw the second one or not.
It wasn't Boondock Saints.
Oh yeah. Fuck, that's a great movie.
Yeah, it's
Person.
one of my favorite movies. Not so much the story. The story is good, but it's the way they narrated the whole story is what it really got me. And I don't know, the vigilante thing against killing murderers and whatnot is always kind of a fun thing to watch or play or whatnot in video games or anything. But the second one definitely wasn't as good as the first one because they
Can't think of it, so I don't think I've ever watched it.
they tried way more like blunt humor instead of dark humor in it, and it definitely kind of ruined the story a little bit for how they're trying to continue it.
I think that they picked up on what people enjoyed about the first one, and then just like crammed it all into the second one. Where what made it cool in the first one was that it was so, sparse. It made it special, like all the tattoos and like the meaning behind them. Doesn't the second one open up with like one of them with their shirt off, and it's just like showing fuckload of tattoos?
Probably Norman Reedus because he's the sexy boy.
Possibly. I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember how it opens, but I remember.
Yeah, they
because
tried to make them like too badass in the second one. Where the reason why they were so badass in the first one is because they weren't really badasses. Like they were just two brothers that fucking loved each other.
Yeah, and that was a good thing. Like there was such a commitment to your comrade and whatnot in the first one that really helped. Like such a devotion to your belief, your comrades, and your family,
Right.
And to help protect the innocent, to the people you care about from the evil of the world and whatnot.
Yeah.
I really love the first one. The second one's hit and miss. They set it up to do a third one, but if they go the same route as the second one, I don't know if I'll really care to watch it. But the first one's definitely great. It it's definitely something to go watch. A vigilante dark comedy movie for anybody who hasn't seen it. And
Yeah.
if you love Norman Reedus, he's in that one.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
That was the movie that made me fall in love with Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Like this
Yeah, he's so
His
fucking good in that.
He's so intense in that.
his character in that movie is probably one of the most perfect characters I've ever seen, just because it's like,
Yeah.
and it could be just because the way that he plays it and the way that it's written, I don't know, but
Yeah.
and just who he is, but it was just so believable, and like it just felt like Willem Dafoe was that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can't really explain it very well, but
No,
it was just
that-
one of those things where you watch it and you're like, that's Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. No, that was definitely
You want to get upset again and flip some more shit? Picture Willem Dafoe there, and then the Green Goblin.
You know that GIF that, or like the clip on YouTube that we always share with each other, where it's Hercules and he gets sent to the wrong universe, and he's disappointed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's all I need to share about that.
I mean, so much fucking talent, and they made him some cheese dick.
Yeah, they could I love that kind of half of the premise that they used, where he was like going crazy, and the Green Goblin was like his like a voice in his head. They could have played that so well, and he could have played that character so well, but then they were just like, meh.
They should have just been like, hey, here's what's going on. Now you just do you.
Yeah, you Defoe the shit out of this, all right?
Here's some of the guidelines we'd like you to follow for this type of character. See, can do what you can with it, and
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's make some magic. And action.
So Tyler, because I feel like the first Boondock Saints, there's like a bunch of really intense scenes, enough so that stand out, where like some people are going to have more favorite ones than others. There's not like one in particular that everyone's like, oh my god, that's the best scene.
yeah.
So what was your favorite scene from that?
That's a tough one. Thinking about it, I think right now I'd have two to choose from. One of them isn't really action at all. It's when they're sleeping in the police station after their first fight, and they're both realizing what they want to do, and them kind of reacting at the same time. The water dripping on them from the cracked ceiling as they have the words of the priest from their church, or the
Shepherds we shall be.
yeah, and they go over their families saying as they hear the words of the priest, and they wake up to a realization and whatnot. That's a really intense scene, and that's probably one of my top 5 scenes. One of the probably top 3 scenes in the whole thing. The other one is when they're locked up in the basement and breaking out and reeling from what happened and everything, and they
Right.
they meet the next person. I don't want to spoil, but
Just in case.
yeah.
Yeah.
That,
But when they're strapped to the chairs, that's a fucking intense scene.
yeah, I like and hate that one at the same time, and that's probably top 2.
You know one of my favorite scenes in that movie?
Go ahead.
When
Is it the bathroom scene?
no, when he wants to get the rope. He's like, this isn't an action movie.
That's good.
Yeah. Here's your fucking rope.
All
No,
right.
no, take your fucking rope.
Go
Get the
ahead,
rope.
then.
Let's go.
Get your stupid fucking rope.
Get your fucking rope. Let's get out of here. And then, like,
Is that right,
afterwards.
Rambo?
Yeah. Oh, is that right, Rambo? And he's got, like, the giant guns. Yeah, and then, like, right after that, when they go in and save what's-his-face.
Rocco?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's his name. And, like, they're explaining to him, they're like, you went into a room with 7
Yeah,
guys and 6 bullets.
That one's the top seed. That
Yeah,
one takes
yeah.
over everyone when they're all drinking
Yeah.
and recounting everything
And then
and
shit-
kind
and
of
then-
just shit talking also.
And then he shoots the cat.
Oh my god!
I can't believe that just fucking
Don't
happened.
spoil it!
It's fine.
I was gonna say the cat scene is like my top two.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that one. It might jump back and forth,
It's,
but I
it's
think
very very reminiscent of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
love
think
that scene in
I think
Pulp
my
Fiction,
number
too.
one scene though, honestly is the toilet scene.
Go on.
You guys remember that?
Which one are we talking about?
Well, I don't want to
Brain is.
spoil too much, but one of the brothers is handcuffed to the toilet.
Oh yeah.
Like that in my mind completely defines the relationship. Like
Yeah.
that's when you realize how these characters are. It's like,
Oh,
fuck.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, I know what you're talking
early,
about now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that
It
is a good one
took
too.
me a second to remember, but then, like, when you said it defines them as, like, the brothers, I was like, that's what clicked it. And I was
Yeah.
like, yep, I remember now.
No, I love this movie.
Yeah.
There's been many times that I've pondered, like, if I was strapped to a toilet, could I do the same thing?
That's intense.
tough,
That like the amount of pain you have to just endure to be able to even make that effort would be
Yeah.
intense.
Yeah.
Um,
That's you're right. That is a good one.
yeah, I love this movie, and I don't feel so bad about my decision anymore because we all keep picking scenes here and there. Like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, that one's off.
You opened this conversation with, well, now that you guys have said yours, I don't feel so confident about mine. And then, like, you literally said probably one of the top 10 greatest movies. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, just
easily.
compared to the other ones, I'm like, jeez, this doesn't compare to like the Star Wars universe or fucking
Well, it doesn't compare because it's different. Like,
yeah.
you're comparing
Star Wars
apples,
universe
Yeah,
has so
I
many movies
gotta
to
think about
explain everything.
You got to think about it that
Yeah.
way. So
apples to oranges, not apples to apples. So
orangutans to
Yeah.
jeeps.
a ring. Okay, that is.
I'm actually gonna watch this.
Sorry, I think we're cutting out on the mic.
Oh, I said I think I'm actually gonna watch Boondock Saints after this.
Do it.
What are you gonna watch?
I got a couple of hours to kill till Game of Thrones tonight, so
You gonna watch Boondock Saints, or are you gonna watch Rogue One and find that dad joke?
no, I'm just gonna YouTube the 30-second or whatever,
Oh,
however long it takes clip
Yeah,
for it,
it's like a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hey. Yeah,
and
I
I'll
think that's
find something to flip over.
Boondock Saints is a
I gotta
movie.
find something to flip over.
I think I watch Boondock Saints at least once a year, at the
Nice.
very least. So,
Cool. That's a good one.
Good call.
but yeah, I mean,
Now I'm glad you went last.
I think that's it. I think we did it.
Again, we did it
I
again.
think we did episode 69 minus 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, unless there's anything else anybody else to touch on. I feel satisfied.
Yeah. Let us know.
Thoroughly satisfied. I need a cigarette.
Let us know what your guys' favorite narrative or story is for movies.
Do it.
Do you approve of our choices?
Do it.
If you don't, tough.
That's why it's called an opinion, asshole.
Yeah. If you
Gonna
guys,
say do it again, Bob?
What?
I said you're not gonna say do it again, Bob?
Oh, do it.
do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Do it.
Do it.
You need to put up a picture of Ben Stiller saying do it on this video.
I can do that. I can do that.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
If I can do it right, I'll do it. Because I'm thinking of a way I want to do it now. Do it.
Do it.
That is a funny movie, that the remake of Starsky and Hutch. I thought that movie was really funny.
It was better than I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah. If you guys want to get a hold of us, you can email us at generalnerdcast@gmail.com. You can hit us up on Twitter at generalnerdcast. You can
Facebook.
thank you. You can find us on Facebook, follow, whatever it is, on Facebook, General Nerdcast. We have a Patreon if you guys would like to help us grow as a podcast, as a whole thing, as everything. You can donate on Patreon or just follow us on Patreon. You can get early episodes. We'll start being able to add more and more there the more we can grow.
Yep.
There's
True fact.
YouTube. You can subscribe, watch our videos there. And don't forget to rate us on iTunes and Google Play. It'll help spread the word and help us get out there more.
I'm proud of you.
Yes.
You nailed that.
Kind of.
If you're listening to us in the morning, hope you have a great morning, great rest of your day. If it's in the afternoon, hope you had a great morning. And I hope you have a great afternoon. Taylor drinks lots of water, Fiji style.
What?
If you listen to us in the evening, hope you listen to us while you're having dessert. You can fill your sweet mouth with sweet treats, and we can fill your sweet ears with sweet voice noises. If you listen to us right before you go to bed, hope you have a great rest of your night. Have great dreams about hugging Deadpool for 6 hours straight. We love you.
That's a great dream.
Smooches.